Hey, Zach. All right. On 51, you're given the y-intercept. Remember, what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is b. So whenever they give you the y-intercept, they've given you half your work. And the whole key, we want something perpendicular to this line. Well, the only thing I care about out of that line is the slope. That's it. So if I pull the slope out, this is where you flip it and switch. Or the proper terminology is negating the reciprocal. Well, what does that mean? Well, what is a reciprocal? A reciprocal is the number turned over. So we have a -2 over 1. That is this. Turn it over. We get 1 over 2, and then change the sign. So it goes from a negative to a positive. So the slope that we're looking for is 1/2. We got it from the original equation. Now, we have a slope, and we have a y-intercept. So to state the equation, we just plug it in. So y equals mx plus b is the very generic form. We don't change the y or the x because it has to be part of the formula or the equation. But we do know the b. It's now 1/2. And the b is the 4. So my equation is 1/2 x plus 4. But it starts with 2 pieces of information. One, you know what they're telling you when they tell you you have a y-intercept. It's b. And what to do with the slope out of the original equation. Okay? That's 51. You also asked about 54. Well, 54, they did the same thing. They gave you b. When they said, here's the y-intercept. So the y-intercept, that guy, is b. But the problem is they didn't give us the slope quite as visible. So that means we need to rework the equation. So we need to solve it for y. So the first thing you do is you're going to subtract off 2x. Now, remember, you can't really subtract 2x from 6. All it did was move from the left side to the right side and change signs. What happened mathematically is you subtracted it. Now, where a lot of students go wrong on this type of problem is this. They tend to drop the negative on the y. So I'm going to now, next step is divide each piece by the -3, which is going to leave me y equals, well, negative over a negative is going to leave me a positive. So I get a positive 2/3 x. Positive divided by negative is going to give me a negative. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now that I've got the equation they were talking about in the form that I need, again, all I care about is the slope. All I care about is this piece right here. Because this is my original slope. Now I need the perpendicular slope. Now, what do? We take this, we flip it. So 2 over 3 becomes 3 over 2, and a positive becomes a negative. So my new slope is negative 3/2, and I have my b already. So we're ready to state the equation now. The work on this problem really was right here. So y equals mx plus b. So y equals, my m is my newfound slope of negative 3/2 x plus b, that's b. So my equation is y equals negative 3/2 plus 2. All right, now the last one, 39. Let's go ahead and get some more paper. 59 is actually going to take the most work. Because not only do we have to create our own slope, but we no longer have been given a y-intercept. And this is where I keep telling you guys you have two choices. Remember, you can solve it with this, or that. Either format works. But first thing we got to do, we got to flush out our slope. So again, we need a perpendicular line to this. What do I care about? That slope. So my slope is that perpendicular slope. Flip it. So 2/3 becomes 3/2. A negative becomes a positive. So my new slope is that. I now have a new slope and I have a point. Since the majority of your class seems to be liking this format, I'm going to go ahead and solve it with that. I plug in everything I know. I know a y. I know an m. I know an x. I don't know b, so I'm going to solve for b. All right, I'm going to put him over 1, because how do you multiply fractions? Top times top, bottom times bottom. So I end up with a -1 equals 3 times 3 is 9/2 plus b. How do I subtract that? All right, remember, how do we add and subtract fractions? Got to have common denominators. So I'm going to do this over the side. So -1 becomes -2/2. And it's minus 9/2. So -2 minus 9 gives me a -11/2. So b equals -11/2. I now have b. I have my slope. I'm ready just now to state my equation. All right, there's all 3 of those worked out for you. Hopefully this helped, so that gets your understanding going again. If not, let me know. Bye.